Okay, got this thing hooked up to the engine crane, ready to pull out. I couldn't help noticing that there are no engine bolts holding the mount on, so it's actually just dangling. In fact, yeah, I think there's supposed to be some sort of bolt, I don't know, up there. There are definitely no bolts. No bolts. Somebody left bolts behind on this engine mount. Anyway, good riddance. Let's get this bad boy pulled out of here. All right, that was the easiest engine pull I've ever done by far. That was all of about 3 minutes to get this guy out. One thing that's kind of weird though, look at the gap in between the, I don't know, yeah, there you go, you can see it. In between the transmission and the engine, and it's hanging on by, I can see one bolt right here. Well, there's two bolts right there. There's a second bolt. 2 bolts holding this thing on, and barely holding it on. They're not even tight. Strange. I suppose this thing must have been like slammed back together. I wonder if that has to do with the starter not engaging. Well, anyway, whatever. Whatever the story is there. Strange, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull this thing off all the way. So I've decided to do a rear axle swap. We're here at the Junkyard. We're looking for late 90s, early 2000s Ford Explorers. The sticker in the door jamb should tell you which axle it has. This one is a D4, which is a 373 gear ratio with limited slip, which could work, but what I really want is a D2 axle, which has limited slip and 410 gears. Yeah, someone's already opened this one up. I think I'll pass on this one. Explorer number 3. Another D4. Also has been monkeyed with. Axle 46. Anything that's not D2 or D4 is an open differential. And that will not work because we do not do one-wheel burnouts around here. Okay, Explorer number 5, I think. Hey, we got a D2. Let's see what the mileage is. Oh my God, 304,000 miles. That is a lot. Too much. 373. Those are very popular. This one does not have a door. I guess we're checking this the old-fashioned way. Okay, well, step one is to see if the Posi works, or if it is Posi, which means I spin this guy in this direction, or any direction. There we go. Let's see if this moves in the same way. Hey, it is. Okay, this is officially a Posi. Okay, this thing is in neutral. There's one thing I can do here, which is to figure out the gear ratio by counting how many times this spins around per revolution. So what I need to do is mark this guy, just like that, and spin this. I can't film both at the same time, but one revolution of this, with it's one, there's a 4-to-1, I'm looking for a 4-to-1 relationship. I think it's 4 of these spins to spin. I will know in a second. It should be obvious. Okay. It's a quarter. There's half. Okay, unfortunately this is indeed a 373 because this thing gets a little bit, at 4 turns it's just a little bit past one full turn of this. Okay. Non-Posi. Oof. This one's lost an axle. This was a non-Posi anyway. No worries. Okay. Got an axle. Looks good. Non-Posi. Crazy. All of a sudden I'm seeing a bunch of non-Posi axles. Ah, here we go. Mercury Mountaineer. Alternate Ford Explorer. D4. Good axle though. Ooh, low miles too. This would have been a good one if you want a 373. Okay. Oh, D2. Hey. Oh my God, this one has so many miles. 339,000. That is out of control. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Woo. Unknown mileage. Shoot. Okay, all right. Well, let's get after it. Okay, well, bad news. It is not doing the Posi thing. This is an open differential. It's either a worn out Posi or somebody switched it. Bummer. Okay, well, we know what we gotta do. We gotta go get that billion-mile axle. Okay. Let's take a look inside this thing. Okay. Seems fine. Actually, I'm not sure. There's a little bit of movement in these side gears. It's a little bit weird. Right there, that side gear is moving strangely. Right there. I don't know if that's okay. It kind of feels like it's not. And maybe there's even a little bit of damage on this. Oh yeah. Bummer. I don't think I want this one. Shoot.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing?
Good.
51. All set.
Thank you.
Take care, huh?
You too. Come on. Come on. Oh my God. Come on. Moment of truth. Oh my God, no. Starting to get really worried. Come on, sport track. Come on, come on, come on. That's locked. Oh no. There is not a single Posi here yet. This is insane. D4. Okay. Ooh, 240,000. Okay, at least we found a Posi. Starting to worry. Okay, there's one more to check. There we go. It's over. One single Posi in an ocean of explorers. It's insane. Man, I really wanted that 410. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna remember that this one is here. I'm gonna go to one more junkyard, and then we'll see if they have one. And if they don't, I'll be back for this guy. D4. Low miles. Missing axles. Missing brakes. There we go. D4. Well, okay. 300,000 miles. Oof. D4. 230,000. Shit. Okay. We've found a D2 axle. 220,000 miles, so not terrible. More than 100,000 less than I've seen. The only problem is this thing is really squished in here. I don't know why that is. Very strange. Hopefully they'll let me pull parts off of it. I guess I'll go ask. All right, I had to absolutely beg those guys to pull this Explorer out, and they did after I offered them more money for the axle. It's worth it. Let's get this thing out of here. All right, so I got this thing all hosed down. It is time to prep it for installation in this bad boy. Drain the fluid, of course, and get rid of any sort of brake component, remove all the brake stuff, because I'm going to need to cut off the axle perches, and I don't want to roast any of that stuff because I'm going to use a new toy that I got, which is a plasma cutter. And it's going to be replacing this guy right here, which I think is a Dana 44 axle, which is actually a pretty solid little axle. This Ford Explorer 8.8 is definitely an upgrade for a number of reasons. I don't know if you can tell right off the bat, it's got some pretty big old chunkier axle tubes. Let me get this thing prepped. We'll pull off this axle and I'll put them side by side and I'll explain why I am going through all the hassle to swap the axle out. That was awesome. This thing is super cool. It just burned straight through this stuff. I think this is going to be the start of a very beautiful relationship. Okay, I got this thing pulled out of there, and as promised, I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison of these two. So right off the bat, the axle tube sizes are way different. 3 1/4, and you can tell that this one, 2 1/2. So I got 3/4 of an inch larger axle tube, which is massive. I mean, definitely going to add a lot more strength for hauling stuff, for everything. Oh, and of course, we've got disc brakes on the new axle. We've got drum brakes on the old axle. So this is going to be a big upgrade to my stopping power. But the main thing that makes the 8.8 axle better is the ring gear size is 8.8 inches. And on the Dana 44, as far as I can tell, it's 8.5 inches. So that's the, I guess, the diameter of the ring gear that's inside of this thing. This one's bigger, and the bigger the ring gear, the stronger the differential is. And 0.3 inches might not sound like a lot, but that's actually a huge difference. That makes this one closer to the legendary Ford 9-inch than it is the 8.5. Oh, and why didn't I just put a 9-inch in this thing? Because those things are like $1 bajillion. This was $200. And it comes with disc brakes, and it comes with a Posi. Actually, that's definitely the number 2 reason why I'm swapping this guy, is that this thing comes with a limited slip differential. Actually, funny enough, I didn't check this one. Oh, look at that. This thing also has a pinion leak too, so that's good stuff. Marking its territory on my garage floor. Okay, here you go. We're gonna spin this the same way, and sure enough, you'll see the other one go in the opposite way. No surprise, I didn't even check it because I already figured. This one is an open differential, which is a 1-tire fire. 1-wheel burnout. Really just not a good look for a badass old truck like this. Not to mention the traction advantage you get with this, but really just the burnouts. That's basically it. Just everything is better about this axle than the Dana 44. But the Dana 44 is a pretty good axle. I should get some money for this. I know Jeep guys like them. I'm gonna stop talking about it. Oh, there's one more thing too. The new axle has 410 gears. This one probably has 390 gears. So it's not a huge difference, but this one is a little bit more aggressive of a gear, which is going to give me a little bit more torque multiplication and give me more towing capacity as a result. So, the widths, if anybody else is curious, these are pretty much lined up hub to hub, and you're pretty close to the same width. The Explorer 8.8 is actually just a little bit more narrow, so I am going to be able to tuck in a little bit chunkier tires in this bad boy. Next step, let's get this thing mocked up in the truck, tack welded. We're almost there. Okay, I have got this thing sitting on the axle with the axle perches. Now, this is the part where measurements are going to be very, very important. Obviously, you want to get it centered in the middle of this thing, and I got it really, really pretty much spot on. Pretty easy to measure from the leaf spring to the back of this guy. And then I made sure that from the edge of the fender well, which is not necessarily a reliable measuring point because this thing could have been dented or something, but I got that actually dialed in, and it's all matching up. It's all centered, it's all looking good. But the other measurement is also equally important, and that is the angle of the axle. Now, you're supposed to match that with the engine, whatever, transmission angle, downward angle, and obviously I don't have an engine or transmission yet, so I'm just gonna set it pretty close to 0, maybe even, we'll do a perfectly flat axle angle. That way when I'm installing the engine, all I need to do is install it flat here. However, one last little wrench in the works here is that the truck is not sitting level. It's obviously sloped backwards quite a bit, not to mention there's no engine, so that thing is sitting up. This thing's sitting way down. So we're gonna pull off the wheels on this guy, settle it down until it's right at the, until it's flat. And then we'll dial that angle, and then we'll do some tack welds. All right, I got this thing fully welded, looking pretty good, I will say. Probably noticed, but I was switching sides back and forth while welding so that I wasn't putting too much heat on one side. You gotta be careful for axle tube warpage. Anyway, long story short, looks good. And this thing is, well, I guess I'm gonna paint it. I'm gonna make it look nice. I think. Oh, actually, you know what? I don't know. Should I paint it or should I leave it kind of rusty looking? Is it gonna stand out too much if I paint it? You know what? I'm thinking I'm just gonna leave it, actually. I don't know. Decisions. Okay, yeah. I'm going to not paint this thing. I think this thing actually needs to blend in with the rest of the truck. And if this thing is going to be kind of rusty looking, then it's almost like as it is, it's too clean. I mean, the old one was a pile of crap. So this one is gonna stay, which is cool because I'm lazy. Awesome. So this thing is ready to be installed. Let's get this thing back on its wheels. Okay, I got these Ford Explorer axle, whatever, plates put on there upside down, basically. And I don't know, I was kind of thinking, these obviously have the integrated shock mount, but since they're on top, that's probably not gonna be enough room to get a decent shock travel, I'm thinking. So I'll plan on something else for the shocks, probably just weld some tabs or something later. For now, this thing is good to roll. Of course, now I've changed my bolt pattern. So this is the smaller, more modern Ford bolt pattern now, and luckily it is the same as the 1970 Dodge Challenger. So I have a couple of drag radials that I can use to use as rollers till I figure out what I want to run for a wheel on this guy.